Hello everybody, welcome back to another video. Today we are going to be practicing organics by building this three-headed dragon. Let's get started, shall we? So to start off, we're going to be building a basic dragon head shape. I want to go for a more fierce shape with a very open mouth. Once this is completed, we're going to be making a copy of this and then rotating it into different positions for each of the three heads. This way, each of the three heads can be very similar, but have different positions and slightly different looks to them. I want each of the heads to sort of look like they might have their own personality and be able to control their own thoughts and movements. For the last head, I even decided to go with a closed jaw. I think this one definitely looks the most sassy out of all three of them. Once each of the heads are rotated in a way that I am happy with and smoothed out, it's time to position them onto the neck. This is something that's very challenging, and after I'm sort of okay with it, I end up working on some base shoulders and hips to get that all smoothed out so that I have something to sculpt off of and go off of in terms of scale of the necks and such. Once that's done, it's time to turn my attention back to these necks and get them fixed up, because right now, I mean, they definitely do not look right. They look a little silly, actually. But it's hard to get these necks to converge in a way that makes sense. My first thought is to move the middle head back a little bit and curve it more, and to move the closed mouth dragon just a little closer to the middle head. Now that I'm a little bit more happy with the position of our heads, we're going to remove those preliminary limbs that we marked in, smooth out the chest a little more, and add some more shoulder muscles to our three-headed dragon. Then we can begin on some limbs that we are actually going to keep. One will be reaching downward to support the weight of the dragon, and the other one is reaching outwards, just to add a little bit more of a dynamic pose. Then we're going to turn our attention to the side of the dragon where we're adding in some preliminary wing shapes. I'm using the line command to mark in these wing shapes, and then I'm going to turn my attention back to the back side of the dragon where we are going to work on our back legs. This is definitely one of the more challenging areas of a dragon for me, and I end up taking advantage of being able to use Google search to find a lot of reference images of dragons in a similar position. This helps a lot, and I'm eventually able to get one I'm happy with. Once I'm alright with that, I begin building the other leg so that both of them are matching and that it looks like it's in an appropriate position for a dragon. Now that I'm happy with that, I keep on smoothing out the hips and waist to make sure I'm okay with the shape, and then I can begin adding a tail to our dragon. I initially try to use the ball command for this tail, but I end up deciding that using the curve command would give me a much better shape and make it way easier to create a tail. Now that our tail is done and all smoothed out, we're just going to be doing a couple of touch-up around the head, chest, neck, adding some muscles where there needs to be muscles, flying around, getting a good look at the body of this dragon, and just touching everything up. Once I'm happy with that, we can begin working on the smaller details of our dragon, such as the feet. The feet of dragons are so challenging. I mean, you're trying to fit so much detail into so few blocks. I end up going with a three-toed design and going with some big claws on those, as well as a toe towards the back. I flip that over to the other leg and blend it in, and then start working on the front paw. For the front paw, I'm going to be going with a very similar design, just a little bit smaller and perhaps more dainty for that first paw. The next paw is a little bit more challenging because it is being held up. I wanted to have it in sort of a casual position, so I hang the three toes down. It takes a lot of trial and error to get these looking right, but after some persistence, it definitely pays off and works out. Now we can turn our attention back to the head of our dragon, where we're going to be adding some fearsome spikes to each head individually. I could copy and paste each of these spikes to the dragon so that they will all be the same, but I want each dragon to be slightly unique, so I place the spikes in slightly different positions on each head, and I think this adds just the right amount of uniqueness to the skulls. Once that's done, I'm still not happy with my middle dragon's neck, so what I'm going to do is create a copy of this dragon. Then I can completely delete the middle dragon's head and rebuild it in a new neck position that I like quite a lot more. Once I'm ready, I can just paste on the head back into the neck position, and everything is fixed. Voila! This looks a lot better, and now that that's done, I am a lot happier with the way that this dragon turned out, and we can turn our position over to the wings. For this, I'm going to be using the curve and line command to line up some bones, and then some flesh in between each of the bones. Then I'm going to be taking this wing off to the side, where I can use the spline command to help me fill in the wing shape. This ends up being a really good command to use for this, and although I'm not super good with the command yet and still need some practice, it definitely was a massive time saver for me. Once I've splined everything out, I can then start smoothing the wings. This is definitely a very good technique, and smoothing didn't take very long, only about a half hour to smooth this wing, and then I simply flip it over to the other side to give the full effect. Now that that's done, we can begin on the final detail of adding some spikes down each dragon's neck. The shaping of our dragon is complete! Can you believe it? I just love the way that it turned out. Now we can begin on the texturing, and this is where things really start to come together. The main body of our dragon is going to be changed to a deep gray. The wings are going to be black and light blue. The head is going to have purple accents and lots of different shades of grays and blacks to really pop out those key areas of the dragon, such as the eyes and mouth. I just love the way that this texturing worked out. If you guys want to know in more detail how I did this, I will link a tutorial in the side. Just click the little I button, you'll see it. Once each dragon is done and has its own unique texturing and its own nether wart tongue, we can then begin on texturing the belly of this dragon. Because I want purple to be our accent color, I decide to do a nice purple glazed terracotta border around the belly of our dragon, then fill it in with some more terracotta. Then I add some accents going down the neck of each dragon to make them glow with the beautiful sea lanterns and some brighter purple colors. Once that's done, the back of our dragon is going to have some different shades of gray for texturing, and the wings are going to be done in a gradient of purple and blue. That's it! Our dragon is complete! Thank you guys so much for watching this process with me. I loved building this dragon so much. It was so fun and such a unique experience to be able to build 3 heads. If you guys liked this video, don't forget to leave a like and subscribe for more content. I will see you in the next one. Bye bye!